Hello and good evening or afternoon. I'm Ben and I am your GM tonight for a special one-shot of KULT Divinity Lost here on the KULT Twitch channel. This is the last in the series featuring a fan-made bundle of new KULT materials in memorial of a pillar of the KULT community, Mechanoreceptor. This entire bundle is to honor his memory and is free to anyone that wants it. It is available at kult.tools/memorial. You can find the link on the page here in the Discord or at ttrptheater.com. Me and these two players are going to be playing a scenario that Mechanoreceptor, using a location that Mechanoreceptor wrote called Hunter's Ice House. So we're going to go around and let these folks introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Tim. TTRPG, sometimes you'll see me as. I will be playing the agent. I will be playing Agent Bruce Hunter. And Chris needs to turn
I
off
have
his mute.
muted and then unmuted and then remuted myself. My name is Chris. I'll be playing Spencer Hunter, the occultist.
All right. And you guys are brothers, correct?
Indeed.
Correct.
All right. It is not now, just a little bit ago. Right before everything got weird and the world started changing. It is a late summer, early fall night. The air is just starting to crisp. The air is doing the same thing that apple cider does. The moment where fermentation begins and the sugar starts getting converted and you can start to feel the bite in the back of your throat. That is what the air and nature is doing around you. It is aging. You are outside of Austin, Texas, and you are about to turn down a small gravel driveway. It doesn't look like much. You can see that there are trees around it in what is clearly designed to be a privacy screen. There is a mailbox, and in small letters, there is no advertising. There is the address that has burned itself into your memory for the past couple of weeks since you scribbled it on a piece of notepaper in your office. And just the name Hunter's Ice House. And you're about to pull onto the gravel drive. Why are you here? What happened? What terrible thing happened that has you two in this city outside of this place late at night?
Well, I've been digging into it for a couple of years now. My brother has too. We've been investigating the death of our sister.
And that wasn't a natural death. If I recall then what the newspaper said, it was terrible, almost maybe even ritualistic in manner. It's images that will remain burned into the minds of the police officers that had to deal with that scene, and regrettably burned into the minds of her family, which is you two.
Yeah, Bruce sent me the crime
Able to get
scene.
hold of the file.
He shouldn't have done that. I was just a kid in college at the time, but I appreciate it. Well, insofar as it sent me down a pretty dark fucking hole.
Yes, it did, didn't it? And do you feel like you're at the bottom of that hole right now, or do you feel like this is the first time you can see a ladder in a long time?
It's a bit of both, I think. I feel like the darkest part of that pit is going to be at the end of this gravel drive. But for all I know, finding that darkest part of the pit is going to be what leads us to the light. You never know.
Are you looking for redemption or revenge? Do you feel like it's your fault that your sister died? Was there a failure in your mind? Or was it just a terrible thing that never should have happened?
I mean, when you lose a family member like that, you always feel a sense of responsibility, but I don't know that either Bruce or I could have done anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was already in college at the time, so not even home.
Yeah, and she was just about to go to college. Young, too young. I mean, is anyone ever really old enough to acceptably die? But we all know that she was far, far too young to be stolen from this world, and especially in such a grotesque manner. And you mentioned clues, looking for things, investigations. Were those official investigations, Agent, or were those maybe a little bit more sub rosa?
Originally, there was official investigation, of course, something that brutal and advertised had to be,
Yeah.
So, especially for the community it was found in, wasn't that large.
Mm-hmm.
And the brutality was just, all over the news. So they did what they could, DNA, forensics evidence, shooting. Really never found a link to anything. Wasn't until later, after I got my brother involved, that we found at least some symbology that was hidden in there, and the symbols that they found that we saw in the crime scene pictures.
Yeah. Geometry trapped within circles, terrible symbols that sometimes in your memory almost seem to overtake the image of your sister's body. Whenever you dream, sometimes those symbols almost fight for your attention. And so we have an occultist. What do you think you're going to find here? Do you think you're going to find a haunted place? Do you think you're going to find a cult, a ritual? What's your expectation?
From what I was able to discern, we'll say, as a euphemism,
Mm-hmm.
this place is related to the symbology that I found in those crime scene photos, and that I have spent the last couple of years delving into myself in a lot of different ways. Some that I'm sure Bruce doesn't even know about, doesn't want to know about.
Yeah, the term family secrets has certainly gotten dark and bloody for you two in the last few years. These aren't just forgotten Christmas presents or lied about something. These are terrible, bloody affairs, aren't they?
My job is to investigate crime scenes. I see it all the time.
But those are other people. Those are just, those are other people's families. That's not your family.
I see my sister and everyone.
Of course you do. How could you not? The thing
and
that
everyone I find, just one step closer.
Yeah. The thing that got you here, amusingly enough, was a weird tag on social media. Hunter's Ice House does not have a Facebook page. There are no Yelp reviews. That essentially lacks any real digital presence aside from technically being able to be looked up as a property name and address. But the name has floated a couple of times of maybe people disappearing or the ice house being mentioned in some occult circles, the kind of things, the edges. It's have you ever tried to pick up something heavy and flat from the floor and you dig your fingernails into it and you're not really sure if you're going to hurt yourself before you get it up? That's what these last few pieces of information you've needed to get here have felt like. The one that was a screwdriver underneath that plate was this social media post where someone tagged Hunter's Ice House in a picture. And the problem was, since Hunter's Ice House didn't have a Facebook name, it kind of did some weird things. And somewhere in your research, maybe a search algorithm that was running, maybe some stolen agency time, some stolen agency processing, your trawling found this. And what made your brother's heart race as soon as you sent him this picture was the man standing behind the bar shooting a furious, murderous glare directly into the camera. Clearly, this is not a person who enjoys being filmed. He is, in his somewhere between his 40s and 60s. He was wearing a leather vest, beautifully tooled, riveted with brass, very tight on his body. He had the shape maybe of a farmhand or a strong man, that layer of muscle wrapped in dense fat, wearing this leather vest. And the thing is that kind of right here on the leather vest were two giant symbols that were painted onto your sister's body with her own fluids. And that was the final piece of confirmation that you needed, that this name coming up wasn't a coincidence. How could someone have the marks that were painted on in your sister with pain and tears and steel and not have a connection? And now you're here and you're ready to turn in. Are we ready to turn down this gravel road and see what lies at the end?
Yes, answers at this end, they have to be, at least for me, seen.
Closure. We need them. We have to have them. And so we will. The gravel drive is not long. You're not venturing out into the wilderness. You're clearly still within the city limits. It's just short enough that you get a little, a jug handle. A little jug handle that blocks visibility. It's nothing so far. It's nothing that's really out of character. Clearly, this is a place that enjoys its privacy. And when you get there, it is a coming around that little jug handle. It is dark, not lightless, but there is no advertising here. There are no big neon Coors signs. There's no forgotten half-lit Zima sign that had been FedExed to them in 1997 hanging outside the door. There are a few lights, and you can see at the bottom of the door some light. There are a few picnic benches here. There is some outdoor seating, a couple trash cans. There's a chicken wire and vine cover over the outdoor seating. The building itself is a little bit bigger than you expected. You would not be terribly surprised if you walked in here and found at least a kitchen, if not something you could arguably call a restaurant. That's your size expectation, at least. There's a little bit of second story, not fully covering the entire footprint of the house, but there is a little bit up there. Air conditioning, maybe. It's a bar. It's got to have refrigerators of significant size for keeping all of the alcohol cool and everything else. Maybe. Who knows? You're not really certain yet. But there are no cars here tonight, despite it being the middle of the night and what it should reasonably be high time. If this is a bar, if this is an ice house, then this place should be pretty hopping. But no cars yet.
It's quiet, Bruce. I don't like it.
Definitely. I'm roll down the window and see if we hear anything. This, even noises coming from inside.
You hear the local small wildlife, probably some insects. Nothing too big, nothing too small, nothing out of the ordinary. You hear a little bit that the sound of music being played, that's that muffled from a good strong construction and nice heavy doors, that kind of where it steals the words and just kind of turns it into something almost primitive, where all you can kind of feel is the texture of the sound.
Mm-hmm. The thump, thump, thump.
Yeah, but it's not
that beat.
Yeah, it's not mid-90s techno. If anything, you're getting a slower kind of a classic, unsurprisingly kind of a classic country. Some things from the 50s, 60s, 70s, that kind of before some would argue that country was infected by pop sensibilities. So you can almost hear maybe a little bit of that steel guitar twang, that of manipulating the strings, but it's muffled. You're not really certain what you hear.
Well,
so I presume we get out. Yeah. What are we wearing? What do we look like, and what are we wearing? Tell us about our brothers. How are they dressed and prepared and presenting themselves for this moment of what we hope is understanding?
Agent Hunter, Bruce, dressed in what you would expect of an FBI agent. Standard dark suit, tie, short haircut, brown, just stereotypical.
So stamped in the G-Man mold, but all the broken parts are on the inside.
Exactly. The outside is what you put forth. So he looks over to Spencer.
How does Spencer look?
Spencer's skinny, tall, a little greasy. He's used to spending time in the library, when he was in college, at least. A few years past now. He kept a few of the more interesting books from the occult section, and of course the papers that he wrote from his paranormal research graduate project. Attempted graduate research project. He's gained a couple more of those types of occult books over the years. He's in his early 30s now. He was late to college and, didn't end up finishing his master's anyway, so whatever.
So, aside from presumably dodging a tan, are there any other occult symbols on him? Does he have necklaces or tattoos or anything else that would show him as a person whose focus is on the occult right now?
He keeps a lot of that hidden as best he can. He has some, necklaces, trinkets that have protective symbols. He has a tattoo right here over his heart that he feels like it gives him some protection. He's not sure if it affects anything because he's still wildly in danger from some of the things that he's done in order to get to this point.
Oh, yes.
Other than that, no. His clothing is, well, you were talking about the 90s earlier. Picture Kurt Cobain circa 1992 flannels.
It is a timeless look. And, between the two of you, you might fit in a little bit better. At least you don't look like a Fed. So, the door is there. It is big, classic, well-worn and polished brass pull. It's something, it's of a make and model that both of you have seen probably a million times in your life and handled an equal number. However, as you presumably you're going to go to the door, is there anything else you want to do before you get there?
I'll look over to Spencer. You need a gun, or are you just going to rely on your little crystals and doohickeys and doodads?
Oh my!
I got a knife. You know me, Brucey. I don't do the gun stuff, man.
Okay, just making sure we're not walking into some place too comfortable.
Well, I got my knife. I'll be all right.
If they're getting that close for a knife, I'm worried about you, little bro.
Well,
You're
I
not a
appreciate
big
that.
guy.
Taller than you, Bruce.
Yeah, but it's not like they're going to be a book you just open up and throw around.
Listen,
I just
you're
want
a
to make
little
sure.
You're a little obvious. Like I'm pretty sure they could pick out that bulletproof vest you're wearing under your shirt there from a mile away. Yeah, they're gonna know that you're a cop, man.
Yeah, we weren't here for pleasantries. I was going to approach with questions from an official standpoint.
I mean, you saw the privacy hedge, that gravel drive. They're not the type to take a liking to strangers asking questions, man.
They ain't going to take a liking to strangers, period.
Well, you got that right.
A realistic assessment, yeah.
So we're going in, and I'm expecting trouble.
Yeah, just one brief question though. Talking about books and crystals and things. Spencer, do you have any books or reference materials with you right now? Or are you?
Yeah, he's always got a satchel that has a couple of the more useful books he's been using in the research that has led him to this point.
Okay. Very good. All right. So, the door. As soon as one of you reaches out and makes contact, a piercing feminine shriek rips itself from behind the wood, crawling into your ears, activating your body's fight or flight response, giving you this moment of shuddering terror. Is it happening again? Is it happening now? And then the sound dissolves into laughter. The sound of someone who sounds female being surprised maybe by something, or surprised by something, that initial caterwaul that ends in entertainment. But God, it was too close, and it sounded too much like someone that both of you know. And there's still no cars in the parking area.
Bruce, if there are fucking people here, where's everybody? Like, how'd they get here? We're way out in the middle of nowhere, man.
Yeah, let me know if you hear banjos.
Dun, 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 dun.
There is a sense, you are Spencer, you are beginning to get a sense that there is something terribly, desperately wrong here. You are beginning to feel the way that you feel when a place has power. There are, however you would want to call it, there's energy here, thought forms here. If you are technically minded, you are fairly certain that your little whatever electromagnetic reader you might be inclined to use right now would probably be giving you some hair-raising results. But you know that as soon as you open this door, you are going to be interacting with something that probably means you ill.
Hey, Bruce. Um, just so you know, uh, we probably don't want to antagonize whatever's behind this door, man. Like, it's like, can you not feel that vibration?
All I fear is the music beat.
Oh, it's more than that, Bruce. It's like it's
Are you feeling all right?
man, do I ever feel all right? No, but like, it's way worse right now.
It's just the anxiety, man. Calm down.
If you knew some of the stuff that I'd seen, you would not be taking that kind of a statement so lightly, Bruce.
If you've seen some of the things and excuses for people have made for some of the things I've seen, you'd be very doubtful too. What people do in the names of their gods, religions, or their beliefs, I mean, to innocence, it's disgusting.
Well, yeah, it's because there's power in that, man, as disgusting as that sounds, and that's what this place is. That vibration that I was just talking about, it's pulsing through my entire body right now, man, and I'm just touching the freaking door. If we open this door, like,
Are you sure your phone isn't vibrating?
No, I left it in the car, man.
Okay. I don't feel it. I'm sorry.
Well, you're probably about to. And I open the door.
All right. Welcome to the Hotel California. There is a loud blurt of music, and it's the wrong music. It was not the rhythm that was playing before. It's not bright in here, but it's warm lit. It puts you in mind immediately of a cave lit by fire. Things here are organic tones. It's wood and unpainted brick and brass, and the lights are turned low, and they've been selected for their yellowy orange color, so you kind of do get that vibe. Thankfully the singer doesn't seem to have a mic. They have a beer in their hand, and they were kind of, drunk enough to get one line out. There's about a half a dozen people in here. Three of them are playing pool at the one pool table. There's two people sitting a couple of seats apart at the bar, close enough to be friendly, but not enough to be together or maybe romantically entwined, but they seem to be sitting close to each other and sharing a drink. And there is someone behind the bar, and it is not the leather vest wearing man that showed up on that Facebook post. This person is small, very nervous looking, has a thinning ponytail pulled back. You know, they're starting to lose it up here. The bar itself isn't actually a bar top. It is a trough that is full of ice. The three people playing pool seem to be, I wouldn't go all the way up to say they're in a motorcycle gang, but clearly they are motorcycle riders. And the people at the bar, there's one gal who's in a pair of jeans, a nice top, out for the night, definitely giving you that vibe. And the other person at the bar is, for a brief moment, you are entirely certain it is your sister. Before some of the facial features change or refine or reveal into another young girl that looks a lot like the older lady, maybe mother and daughter out for a drink. It's about that time of year. Maybe they're having one last hurrah before someone goes off to college. Maybe celebrating a return, something your sister never got to do. The people playing pool give you a look, appraising, ambivalent, return back to their game. The two gals at the bar turn, look at you, look at each other, let you make a first move. The bartender points his chin at you, indicates that he sees you and isn't going to kick you out, but hasn't quite welcomed you yet. This is a place that has its own structure, it seems, and you guys have yet to figure out your place in it.
I'll head towards the bartender.
Okay.
I'll be pulling out my identification. And a picture of the man in the leather outfit you described earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the vest that's
Vest,
oh
yes.
my gosh, yeah, riveted. There we go, with rivets on it and everything else. The bartender says, what can I oh. Oh.
You know who this man is?
It is immediately clear from just the way this guy's face is starting to twist up that you're about to get some bullshit.
Oh, I don't even have to read. Good.
Yeah, like this, but no, it's just this guy, this assistant bartender, this guy who's covering this coworker, this intern, this whoever, does not possess a subtle bone in his body, and certainly he's not storing any of them in his face. His entire emotive process goes right across his facial features: shock, surprise, concern, anger, and you can see it. It doesn't take any effort. It's cartoonish in its blatantness. This guy's about to lie to you.
I look directly at him. Have you figured out your lie yet? What is your name, sir? I pull out a notebook and a pen. Tim's old school, but...
Oh, yeah, you got to be. Sometimes you just got to do the classics. All right.
Yeah.
How about we see how this goes, and we see if you can influence other. Let's see how hard you can lean on this guy with the classic Fed routine, which is an oldie but a goodie.
I rolled a 9 minus 1, so a total of 8.
Okay.
Ben loves that.
Yeah. I'm pretty thrilled for that. You are a member of what agency? You are an agent of what? The FBI, if I recall
FBI
correctly.
Violent Crimes Division.
Yeah, those are some powerful words. There is strong energy. Your brother could probably give you a really long essay on the power of names and titles and the ritual capability of the United States government for affecting things by the utilization of language and other things. I'm sure that he could probably keep you busy for a very, very long car ride
I'd
talking
probably
about
shoot
the
him.
symbolic. Yes, well, but you would have learned a lot before you killed him. So it probably would have been okay
Well,
anyway.
I wouldn't have killed him, just shot him.
Oh, okay.
He is brother.
Non-lethal education. That's fine. I understand. And you are used to them working. Your presentation, your presence, the classic, you are
The
in many.
training.
Yeah, absolutely. You are in many ways, you are reaching down with what you're doing right now. You are reaching back across, God, decades of the American gestalt and flipping switches that people don't even know they have. I mean, you're back there with Dragnet, manipulating 2 or 3 generations of pop memory, and it doesn't work. It absolutely is not working. This guy is feeding. He doesn't know. Maybe he does know the guy. He doesn't recognize him. It's not a good picture. Could I see your ID again? I mean, he's clearly lying, which is what's almost the infuriating part. He's clearly lying, but despite that, he's doing such a phenomenal job of giving you absolutely nothing that you can't. It's you can't find his handle. You have essentially performed your own sort of social ritual, and it has blown up in your face, or at least it hasn't worked. uh, uh, Spencer, you feel a set of eyes on you, and it is the older lady who now upon closer is maybe closer to being in her 40s. Well kept, well made up, but she's giving you the elevator. She's looking you up and down and making eye contact, and maybe kind of, it's a little forward. It's maybe a little aggressive. She doesn't seem to be drunk, and clearly she's had a couple, but she doesn't seem to be inebriated past the point of really being rational. And she's giving you a look that, are you familiar with? Are you often ogled in bars? Are you often in bars?
Um, no is going to be the answer to both of those questions.
Okay. What's your comfort level right now with this lady giving you some really strong visual indicators of interest? Clearly, sexual, maybe? I mean, she doesn't know you enough for it to be intellectual.
Yeah, if I didn't have a reason to be here, I probably would have a nice night and just walk right back out that door.
Okay. So this is uncomfortable for you. This is not something you're used to. This isn't a surprise that you appreciate right now.
It's I have a pretty extreme social anxiety. That's why I definitely prefer the company of books and the quiet of the library and the research section specifically. Yeah, but all the same, we are here for a reason, so I will approach.
Okay. You hear your brother performing his rituals of power. He is using his phrases of authority. He is invoking the great and terrible forces of which he is an avatar. And it seems that the little shit behind the bar is not responding correctly. Bruce, as your brother kind of goes over to talk to this gal, we're a few minutes into this conversation of inefficiency. How's your tone of voice? Are you showing any form of agitation right now, or are you still under control?
I'm heard this bullshit before. I mean, I'm just letting him spew his stuff. Because sometimes you can tell what they're not saying might lead you to something. So I'm just kind of letting him play out his thing. And if he's finally finished, I'll look him right in the eye. So you're telling me these lies and you're just going to go with that. Got it. I'll move on to the next person. Who is the next person at the bar? The young lady, I believe, that I thought might be my sister?
Yeah, the young lady, and your brother is now probably in conversation with, now with a few more moments of visual assessment. They're clearly related. You wouldn't commit all the way to mother-daughter, maybe, niece, aunt, some sort of family. It's not 2 o'clock in the morning. It's probably something like 11 to midnight. So it's not entirely outside the realm of reason for some family members of the appropriate age to be out. I mean, it's not drunk o'clock yet.
Okay.
It's still go out and enjoy yourself. Let's see
My goal is to show the picture and ask questions, just like I've been trained to do.
Okay, let's start that, but let's see how your brother does.
Okay.
This lady gives you a smile that borders on the predatory. She is inexplicably immediately drawn to you, hungry. There's some, when she tells you that her name is, she says, "Hi, my name is Sandy. What's your name?" And when she does, there's an unnecessary level of licking. There you get, there's some lip biting. She's licking her lip or her teeth. It is a sexual aggression that borders on possibly even cannibalistic.
Nice to meet you, Sandy, right? Sandy.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer. How you liked this song? You know what it's about?
Hotel California. I know all about what it's about.
Yeah, the story that I heard, it was like a demonic cat house, where you showed up and then you had your fun, and then you could never leave. That that line, you could check out anytime you like, but you can't ever leave. I noticed there were no cars outside. Can you leave? Like how are you ladies getting home, huh? Sorry, that's a really shitty pickup line, isn't it?
Yeah, there is a moment where one side of her face droops, and it almost looks like the beginning of a stroke, and then you actually start to see the flesh slough off, and you blink, and she's back to normal. Your brother, of course, doesn't see it because he never sees anything, because he doesn't want to see anything, but and she looks at you and she says, "Of course I know what Hotel California is about."
Yeah. It's a really, really cool story, right? A friend of mine always
Honey,
said,
honey. But let me ask you something. And she reaches out to your character to put her hand on your chest.
And I instinctively just take like a half step back.
She keeps leaning forward, and she does in a way that deliberately like puts her breasts on display. She's doing full like sexual language with your character.
Sorry, Sandy. I'm not a huge fan of being touched.
Oh, honey, you may not be in the right place then.
It's a Hotel California reference again.
You're gonna die here.
What?
You're gonna die here. Let's see what her daughter has to say. All right, so you show her the picture.
I identify myself first and then show her the picture. Yes.
Okay. She does in what seems to be possibly puckish shitheadery. Absolutely asks for your ID, and she does. Do you present your ID because technically you're here officially? So you are using all of that, and you show her the picture of the man.
And I watch for her reaction.
She looks at it, and she looks at it really hard and hands it back to you and says, "Yeah, that's the guy who killed my mom."
And you're here? And he worked this picture's from here, so obvious. And you come back? Were you looking for him also?
No. He killed me too.
You're making no sense. How could he have killed you if you're here?
And you hear your brother say that right when the other lady says you're going to die here. And so the daughter says, "That's because everybody who comes here dies. You're going to die here."
I doubt it, ma'am. It doesn't look like there's many people here I should be afraid of. And this gentleman isn't here.
He's exactly where he is. I could help you see someone to be afraid of if you wanted to.
Well,
I could help you see.
as long as it doesn't require any drugs or anything like that, I might be willing to let you try your whatever mumbo jumbo it is.
Okay. So there's that little bit of conversation, and Spencer, so she has just said you're going to die here, and it looked like all the color drained from your face at that moment. You've got a couple of minutes to do something before the gal who's talking to your brother does something dramatic.
I'm sorry. I beg your pardon. Sandy, right? Sandy?
Mm-hmm.
What did you say?
I said you're going to die here, but don't worry. You don't have to die a virgin.
Oh,
they've got bedrooms right back there.
That's not a particular concern of mine. At
Honey, it should be.
but
You don't want your first fuck to be in hell.
well, I mean, you're probably right about that. Um, why? Why do you say that? Though.
That you don't want your first fuck to be in hell, baby?
No, not that. The thing about the dying.
Oh, you know, may as well start a relationship off with a little bit of truth. Get all the cards on the table.
So the thing about the Hotel California, that I was talking about just a minute ago, that's like accurate, right?
Oh, mostly. I'm the only slut here, though.
Well, yeah. So okay.
Look, baby, just look at me. Don't look away from me. This is going to go faster if you just look at me.
What will go faster?
Tim, roll to avoid harm as this used to be a girl tries to do something that you haven't quite understood yet.
An 11 plus, and that's avoid harm?
Yeah.
2. So that would be a 13.
13. It's better than a 9.
Yes.
Avoid harm. You avoid the worst of it. She reaches her hands out, and you have experience, and you've pulled back, and you know that you're absolutely outside of her melee range is a bit of a grim term, but you know you're absolutely outside of that, out of her reach, and yet still you feel something jaggedy sharp rake across your cheek, and you know that there's a good 6 inches of air between anything that she has. She's not holding anything in her hands. There's a good 6 inches of air between your face and anything she is, and yet still somehow you felt something touch you when she tried to claw out your eyes.
First thing I do is reach up, and what do I see in my hand?
Blood. Not enough to be serious, but certainly something has happened.
I would draw a gun.
Okay.
Keep your hands where they are.
Something is happening behind you, Spencer. You hear the distinct metallic sound of a firearm being readied, and your brother's authority voice coming into play.
So did you say that there were like bar stools that the two girls were sitting on?
Yes.
Okay.
Sandy has about oozed out of hers. The daughter is up now.
All right. So I'm assuming Bruce's gun. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
And
I brought it up. Yeah.
So even though she has said to not look away, I am then instinctively going to like step back again, stepping away from her and look over at Bruce.
Okay. Your brother is bleeding across his cheek. Not a lot, but enough. And he has his firearm out. And where is it aimed, if anywhere?
Center mass at the moment.
Center of mass. Okay. And you are entirely certain that he is holding a gun on your sister in this moment of confusion and panic. Roll to keep it together to see if your mind is able to parse that this is not your sister.
Hang on, I've got to pull a sheet up that I can actually roll on.
Plus willpower.
Mm-hmm. That is a straight 10, which is slightly better than a 9.
Yeah. You know, how about angry? Like you have identified that it wasn't your sister, but there is still the chemical dump of thinking that your brother drew a gun on your sister, whom you are looking for, but you know is dead. The kind of the paradox of that makes you angry. There's a tension in you that doesn't have anywhere to go. Does that sound all right, or do you want to do something else?
No, that works just fine.
All right.
Bruce, what the hell, man? Why are you bleeding? Why are you holding a gun? Why are you antagonizing these crazy friggin' people, man?
She just stabbed me or slashed me with a knife. I don't know where it is. Ma'am, please turn around, put your hands on top of your head, and he's attempting to get her into position to frisk her and to handcuff. Because he attacked a federal officer.
Mm-hmm. And she just kind of grins and puts her hands above her head, and she does it once again a little bit too salaciously. There's there's an unpleasant sexuality to the way she puts her hands above her head. And Sandy is now, you can hear her behind you, and the guy behind the bar is very, very calm. His hands are on the bar, and he has absolutely some strange look in his eyes.
Just in general, I want to observe what everybody else is doing in this response, as far as the people shooting pool. Also, see if there's anything else, movement in the room that I missed before. Just hallways, doors somebody might come out of, something I should suspect now that I'm in more gun-drawn danger mode.
Yeah, how about very quickly, let's see if you can observe a situation. See what the quality of your visual assessment is.
I rolled an 8 plus 2, so that'd be a 10.
Okay. This has been a very stressful, weird, confusing, quickly escalating situation. It's not particularly a surprise that you are not manifesting the top of your game right now, but you do get to ask a question. Do you have your move sheet up that you can reference those questions, or do you need them from me?
Oh, moves and rolls. I apologize. Go ahead and you can start reading them. I'm going to bring it up.
That's okay. What is my best way through this? What currently poses the biggest threat? What can I use to my advantage? What should I be on the lookout for? What is being hidden from me, or what other thing is strange about this? Because clearly these two are being strange, and that's a gimme, so.
Yeah, the first thing is, what is an immediate danger to me, if anything?
It's whatever she used to hurt you, you can't see on her. So it's a bracelet, or it's an extending baton, but she's wearing a short-sleeved shirt. It's not her fingernails, unless you're really off your game and your depth perception was shot.
Yeah, I don't think I'm that bad.
She is dangerous, and you think that if she can really get up close to you, you have a feeling that you're going to find out that she is exceedingly dangerous. She's way too comfortable with a gun being drawn on her.
This has me at a heightened awareness too. And I'm going to at least walk up and do my duty of trying to handcuff her.
Okay.
That would be to restrain and restrict the person who's attacked me.
Yes. She seems to be going along with it. However, Spencer, let's see. Do you feel like maybe rolling enhanced awareness right now might be good?
Yes, actually, that was going to be my next step. Roll plus soul.
Plus soul.
Let me pull it up here. Huh, that is a 9 plus 8 plus 3, so 20.
9 plus 8?
Mm-hmm.
How so? I believe you, but how?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm using the roll 20.
Oh, okay. No, I got it. No, yeah, so you're saying that you rolled a 17.
Yeah, it's a 17
Okay.
plus 3.
No, that's fine. For some reason, I thought you rolled a 9 and then got a plus 8 and then got another plus 3. And I was like, oh, how?
No,
Oh, my
it showed
Lord.
up. Yeah,
What
it
book are
showed
you
up
using?
on. It showed up on roll 20 as a 20. So I was like, "What the heck did I actually roll?"
No, I dig it. Okay. You discern clear details regarding this location. Dude, this place is a haunt. This should be a low-level surprise to you. This place is a haunt. This place is actively supernatural. These people that you are looking at are kinds of various shredded presences. This is a terrible, bad place. This is, you could call it a hell pit. You could call it a manse. Pick the language that you would prefer to use, but this is a terrible place. And these are its defense mechanisms that you are interacting with. And whatever these mechanisms are, they're not designed to deal with federal agents, and they're not set up to handle this. There's something going on, but it's to try to use like some paranormal or the kind of like the parascience stuff. These are repeaters, and that kind of not entirely a full spirit. These are spirit fragments. This is a system. You are encountering defenses of some kind, and these defenses will turn lethal if they're not negotiated. And you don't see, but you sense that whatever your brother is about to like physically lay hands on, if he grabs it up and really puts his hands on them like he would someone that he is trying to restrain, that it is going to be like running your hands over barbed wire. There is a sharpness about what's going on, and your brother is about to tear his hands to pieces on this place's ghosts.
So Spencer, I will reach out my hand, and I'm just like, Bruce, stop. Just hang on just a second, all right? And like I try to put my hand on his shoulder.
Okay, try to act under pressure. You've got to convince him to not follow his training in the middle of training.
Right. Let's see. Act under pressure. I've got
plus
a plus
cool.
2 in. So let me find one that I have a plus 2 in. That is a 14 total.
Okay. You do it, but hesitate, are delayed, or must deal with a complication. So you stop your brother. Awesome. So how do you two do that? So you reach out. Do you physically reach out, or do you simply attempt to stop him with words?
Oh, no. I'm using words, and I tried to put my hand on his shoulder.
Okay. So
I will pause in my process and look at him side-eyed because I'm still keeping an eye on my threat. And I'll wait for his explanation.
Oh, okay. Bruce, I know that you don't believe me about any of the weird culty shit that I've tried to tell you about, and that is obviously with Livy's death and all that stuff. But okay, this place is completely fucked. All right, bro. Like, you can't touch that because it's not a person.
What?
Can you like conceptualize that for just a second, man?
What do you mean? She's right here, and I go to
Okay,
point at her, and it's like, did you drink something?
no, I haven't drank anything, man. Okay, just
Don't touch anything here. They might be spiking it with shit.
okay, yes, but you, hey, also, don't touch anything or anyone here because it's like, it's hard to explain. Barbed wire. It's like a big fence that has barbed wire at the top, and that's protecting something on the inside, and we haven't
Are
gotten
you
to the.
gonna handcuff me, officer? The girl like wiggles her tush and does, something salacious with her spine. It's entirely inappropriate for what has happened in the last 2 minutes. It's a behavioral non sequitur.
Just go sit over there. I point to her mother, and I keep them in sight. Keep your hands where I can see them. No, Spencer, what the hell are you trying to tell me? Ghost spirits? I mean, she's right there. She picked up a drink. She caught me. What the fuck's up with you, man?
Okay, like I was saying earlier, I already know that you're not gonna believe me when I say this, but like, okay, um in the stuff that I've read and how I've been um doing my research, I have figured out how to uh see stuff that isn't, well, that you don't see, all right? And that's what this place is. It's like a whole bunch of that stuff all in one place, and it's awful and evil, and all this stuff around us right now is protecting something way worse somewhere nearby. All right, can you get that? At least we're right on the outside of
I
like a prison
understand these
fence.
guys obviously are protecting this man, holding the picture in front of him.
It's yeah, I mean, you're on the right track. At least that guy, we know that he's involved, and that
And they're
that
protecting him. I don't want to bring everybody. I don't want to call the agency and have everybody come down. I'm sure I could call my director. He'd get people here in no time. I'm sure we could call Judge Walter and get it all taken care
we
of.
don't want to trap more poor souls in this place. We're probably already fucked all on our own.
The mother and the daughter have, in the middle of your conversation, started kissing.
All right, that right there is fucked up.
It went from like gentle to heavy to fierce. The thing that got your attention was actually the porcelain clack of their teeth knocking together. Such is the ferocity of the sexual contact.
Okay, so they're busy now. That's great. Let's.
You said that this is a place of hauntedness or something. Prove it. I'll give you a chance.
Okay, so
No glowing stones or any silly mumble.
Shut up, Bruce. God damn it. Okay, so you said
Sure,
that
yes, let's see what you can do, says the guy behind the bar, who's now extremely amused.
Okay, so all right, so you said that the little girl that's making out with her mother right now,
I mean, she's a grown woman. I mean, she's definitely of age, and she's probably, I mean, everybody under.
Yeah, I mean, we're both in our early 30s. So.
Yeah, I know, youths.
The youths.
Just to be explicit in that.
We are in the backwoods of Texas. What do you expect?
I mean, it is in Alabama, man. Anyway, okay, so the girl cut you with something, right? You didn't see the weapon. You were far enough back. You should have been able to see whatever she cut you with, right?
There's always somebody better.
What?
Somebody quicker, so I can't say.
Oh,
If
okay.
she's been
But
a knife, a blade, I mean, that's 6 inches right there.
all right. Yeah, sure. But if she had a knife or so, like cat claws or something like that, like she'd be stabbing her mother in the stomach over there while they're making out right now.
Well, what's terrible is that, you say that and the kissing has turned into heavy petting. And the basement door opened. The kissing has turned into heavy petting, and then the daughter, Jesus, the daughter has grabbed what we believe was her mother's breast with the same hand that may have attacked you, and her fingers sink into the flesh, not like the flexibility, the malleability of breast tissue, but they sink in and you can see the blood start to well. And then the mother grabs all the way on here on her daughter's face and bites and pulls. And they both kind of pull away from each other with these grips at the same time. And stringy tissue pulls away from a chest, and tendony oobleck comes off of the face, and they both make extremely guttural, visceral noises of intense sexual pleasure at this mutual destruction.
So, are either of you familiar with the Will Smith meme where he's just like,
Yeah, except he's doing it to Jada Pinkett, except you're doing it to the horror show.
yes,
Okay, yeah.
that is precisely what Spencer is doing right now. He's like,
Obviously, they're disturbed. Help me restrain them before they hurt themselves or
don't
anybody
touch, Bruce, stop. That's not
Spencer, what's
normal.
wrong with you? They're obvious. Yeah, it's not normal. There's somebody got something to alcohol or something.
Just
keep an eye on that bartender. He probably drugged them.
Just don't touch them, all right? If they're gonna rip each other to pieces, just don't touch them. Let them do it, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Fine. Fuck it. Is there any other place around here then? These guys obviously know nothing.
You've got the guy behind the bar who is now giving you a very interesting Willy Wonka smile. And the 3 guys playing pool, they have been playing pool and resetting and playing pool and resetting. And it seems like they have only been playing about 5 shots before resetting the pool balls and breaking again. It's every time you look over now, it comes to mind that they haven't, this is not a long, complex game. They've done like 5 shots and then reset. And as you watch, you see them kind of all do this very mechanical shudder, and then it's you can see it now. But then they start putting the balls back together into the
triangle.
Into the triangle. Yeah, for some reason I was entirely convinced that the triangle wasn't a triangle.
Unless they're playing 9-ball.
No, they're not. This is Texas. We are not playing snooker. And so they get everything. But it's that reset. It's something is happening here that is not okay. The edges are starting to come off. The bandage is starting to peel up. Spencer, this doesn't surprise you as much as maybe it should, but Bruce, this is a weird fucking scene for you.
I'm trying to rationalize this shit in my head right now, and I'm not doing a good job.
Yeah, it's a fucking thing. Do you think you need to try to keep it together under this situation?
Yeah, girls ripping off breasts of their supposed mother figure, guys, skipping in movie style. Bartender just seems fucked up to begin with. Old hippie.
Yeah.
I rolled a 16 plus whatever keep it together is for
Plus willpower.
+1, so a total of
17.
17.
All right, more than 15. All right. So the good news is that your stubborn brother has managed to keep his shit together. The bad news is that he has managed to wrap himself in a 6-inch thick Dyneema and Kevlar blend of rationalization.
Okay,
He is
Bruce. So, okay, if you don't want to believe that it's supernatural in any way, how about the Matrix? You remember that movie from like what 99 or whatever? You saw it. I'm pretty sure we saw it in the theater together, right?
Yes.
the two girls, while you guys talk, the two girls are continuing to tear each other apart, and it's starting to get into viscera, and the three people that are playing that are playing pool are now not even able to wow, and my background flashes perfectly at the same time, are not even able to get the triangle in, and like they're shaking, and it's almost like they're trying to treat it like it's a Ouija board, and the triangle half full of pool balls is the planchette.
Okay, so it's like a glitch in the Matrix. Where we are right now is like a place in the Matrix that's glitching out really bad because we're messing with it. How about that? Does that work for you?
We'll figure it out later. Right now, where the fuck is this bastard in this picture?
Okay, well let's look around. Nobody seems to be paying us any attention right now
The
except for the creepy bartender who isn't doing anything.
No, he isn't, and he seems to be, out of the people that are here, he seems to be the most aware, maybe, but he seems also to be deeply entertained and not particularly inclined to converse. Like, he's just very much watching you. The two girls have now started to pull loopy intestinal pieces out of each other, and their faces are just chewed off and bloody, and when they kiss you can see their tongues from their peeled off cheeks. You can see their tongues twined together, and you can see the bloody pieces that they've bitten off of each other. This is going south very fast, and you may not have time to figure out this piece.
Yeah, I'm looking for doing that later. Right now, I'm looking for this man, seeing if there's any other rooms. These guys are all occupied.
Okay, so we saw that there was a small second floor. Let's go upstairs. Let's take a look up there. All right.
Yeah, and it is very easy to do. You do have to go behind the bar to get there, though.
Does the bartender hinder us?
No. But he does reach into the ice. Like I said, it's not a flat-topped bar, it's a trough filled with ice. And he does
As he
reach,
starts to reach, keep your hands where I can see him.
and he pulls up a beer and just grins at you and sips it, just entirely entertained. But once again, strange.
Trying to get a read on this guy.
He's not all there. It's if you have ever seen a junkie whose mind has rotted for too long, it's got that, like, he's not processing everything.
He's in a constant fog.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to find to the stairways then.
Yeah, it's very easy to do. You go behind the bar, and you are facing down a hallway. There are a couple of doors. There is there's what looks like an office, so it says, office, do not enter. And then there's you can see at the end of the hallway the big aluminum refrigerator door. If you guys have ever seen an industrial refrigerator door that's behind every bar, those big ones that has the big handle that you can hear it clunk and it hisses when it opens. Yeah. And then against the other wall, you think that there might be like there's a door that, if your mental math looks right, leads to outside, and that says bathroom. And there's a set of doors down the side. So you're looking at an office, or refrigerator, and like 4 doors running down the side of the building, running down the side of this hallway. Excuse me.
I will attempt to open each door as we go through and gun in, see who's here.
Okay.
So I don't know which is the first door that I'd come to there. I think the office, you said.
Yeah, the office. The office is locked, but I have a feeling that that's just going to be a problem resolved with a boot.
At this point, yes. No delicacy.
This is it, and the bartender says, "Have a nice night. Enjoy your stay." Apropos of nothing. It's like it's weird.
I'm just looking back at him, thinking I want to shoot him, but resisting because my brother's here. So, kick the door down. What's in the office, if anything?
Office. Oh, the first thing you see is office stuff. You see it is the office of a small business that doesn't have a lot invested in overhead. And this, okay, shocking no one, this bar is not Six Sigma. It is a mess. There are papers around. There's a fax machine that has that. It has that yellowish brownish, like almost like a Warhammer model dry brushing vibe to it, that you're like, oh, this. But that's the color of that 90s plastic when it's been subjected to 20 years of cigarette smoke. But it does. It's weird. I just thought of that. And there's a computer there, and it's an older computer, and there's an ashtray. However, also built into the back of the office, which is clearly designed to be private, is a stairway that goes up and down. So if you imagine the stairway is against the far wall, so you're standing at the door. There's a room that is the office, and then on the wall directly opposite you is kind of like a stairwell that you can go in, under the stairs and down, or over here and up the stairs. This is clearly someplace that's supposed to be private. So this is probably, who knows, but it's absolutely not meant to be seen by the public.
Up or down, Bruce? I mean, Spencer? No, not even. Okay. Right name.
Okay.
Spencer.
I don't know. Man, this whole place is.
You want me to go back to the car and try to call in some other people?
I highly doubt that we will be allowed to leave. Bruce, if I'm being perfectly honest, I think we're stuck here until we find out whatever it is we're supposed to find out, or until the dude in the fancy leather jacket kills us. It's probably going to be one of those two.
Boy, aren't you one with cheerful options?
Well, I've seen too much of this shit in the last couple of years, Bruce. Too much of this shit.
Then you should know how to get out of it, or it's probably not even real. I'm pretty sure we'll figure it out when we get this guy. Just when we get him, one way or the other.
One way or the other. I don't know. You want to go up? Wait, we're on the second floor already. What more was up?
You're on the ground floor.
We were looking for the stairs.
Oh yeah, that's right. We went into the back room looking for the stairs. Okay.
Yes. I didn't commit anyone to going up or downstairs in a crazy, fucked up, clearly haunted bar, automatically.
Okay, wait. So there's a basement too. Okay.
Which is weird. This is not basement land.
No, not really. I don't know. You want to poke around upstairs first and then go down into the creepy basement, or do you want to just go straight to the creepy basement?
Well, I'm looking for him. Let's start upstairs. If he's not there, we'll quickly know.
Yeah,
Okay.
the upstairs didn't look too big.
It didn't. Like I said, it could have convincingly have been a shelter for air conditioners. And upstairs is an apartment. It's you know how whenever if you guys listen to true crime, I'm sure that Bruce has heard coworkers describe this. It's as soon as you walk into a place where people have died, you get a vibe. And this is a place where people have died. There's that odeur, not new, but that just kind of that scent where there's someone's boots that they wore when people died are in the room, or maybe they haven't quite done their laundry. It's a very simple apartment. It's got a bed and it's got a little a shower nook, a little kitchenette. It's exactly kind of the place that you imagine a person that lives above a bar they own having. It's generally spacious, but it's essentially one room.
Any pictures or anything that might give indication of who might live here?
Yeah. There are a bunch of pictures, and you guys are in some of them. There is, if you recognize the style, it is the family portrait wall that are so often in generational houses. It's you've got great grandma up here. It's like that black and white picture of grandma and grandpa, or great grandma and grandma, coming from the old country, kind of that black and white turn of the century, and a couple of newspaper clippings, and it's a family wall. And there are pictures of you two in it, but you're younger for the most part. And there are pictures of your sister here and of your parents, and you recognize a couple other members of your family. But the one that arrests you, there's several of them are framed. The one that immediately grabs you is the picture of, it was a year before your sister died. There was a big family reunion. Do you remember it? Was it on a farm? I think it was. There was some big wide open space with picnic tables laid out like end to end. Was that on a farm, or was that at a park, or where was that? Do you remember?
I was thinking it was at an old farm. May have been converted over to do stuff like that.
Yeah, it was Aunt Sharon's place. They had that land, that big parcel of land. They sold most of that off, but they still had the farmhouse.
Yeah, what did she say? Just, enough for everybody to have their own 10 square feet? I think there's some sort of a joke because she wasn't getting along with her husband at the time. Wasn't there something about that?
They didn't really get along well.
No. But there's you guys remember it. It's almost like it was a different life, It was before you really learned about pain. when there were other goals. And you are smiling, and your sister, what was her name? Olivia, is smiling. And it's a nice picture. And it was the last thing before people really started going their own separate ways. You remember because someone, maybe one of your cousins, was bitching because they had a plane and they're like, I've got to leave in the next half an hour before it's over. We're going to take a picture. We got to take a picture right now. And, you know, all that stuff for the family reunions always seem to go on maybe about 12 or 18 hours longer than they really should have. And you're in that crush time. And he shouldn't have been there. He wasn't there. You know he wasn't there. You know he wasn't there, because if he was, you would have recognized him from the picture. But the man in the vest is standing directly behind your sister with his hands on her shoulders, smiling, but a little possessive. That kind of, he's in the picture. He's not standing next to your sister. I just yellowed myself. He's not standing next to your sister. He's over on the corner, and he has his hands in the pockets of his jeans, and he's got some sort of like a cargo shirt on, some kind of like a khaki, like a safari style shirt, but you can see the brass of the vest underneath his shirt, which is a weird vibe. But he's there. He's in the picture. The lighting is right. The shadows are right, and it's this is your family. He's in that picture, and there are cigarette burns on members of your family. Most of the elderly ones, or elderly to your memory at the time. Your uncle dead of a heart attack. Your aunt fighting cancer right now. Your parents, never really the same after Olivia. Maybe one of them isn't even around anymore. But yeah, the man in the vest is there.
Bruce, how? What? He's,
Why?
like,
Let me
he's,
look. Is he in any of the other pictures, or is it just that one?
Yes, he is in several of the pictures.
Do you remember him? I don't remember him from this at all.
well,
And
no,
I'm
I
seeing
feel
who he's-
like we would have recognized him if we remembered him, but why is he there in the first place, Bruce? What is happening?
Do I notice any resemblance to any particular? Not sure if it would. Just trying to investigate and see what other connections I might be able to make here. Something, just lots of pieces here. Who might he be?
It's been a weird night. The scene in the bar is bloody and violent and confusing, and it's just, and everything is going so fast, and this is such a weird moment. Let's see.
I'm imagining him frantically just over all of it, just trying to absorb it.
Let's see if you can recognize the things that have been hidden from you. So how about you guys both roll to see through the illusion?
Remember my disadvantage there.
Yes.
Jeez.
Did you roll an 85 or a 2?
I rolled a 1 and a 2 plus 3 to make a 6. A whopping
Wow.
6.
Okay.
So I rolled an 11 after my -2.
Okay. You refuse to believe in anything not confirmed by fact as modern science, even when it is right in front of you. An illusion, in addition to the standard effects, whenever you see through the illusion and whenever the illusion shatters, the GM may choose one extra option. I don't think the illusion shatters on an 11. You see reality, but also affect the illusion.
It's a may choose.
Yeah. Well, let's handle you both of you. Spencer, what do you reject? What do you no longer see this man? Do you not recognize a resemblance? How has the illusion kept you bundled right now?
Well, I have no memory of him being at any of these locations where we supposedly have all been in the same location before. So my brain just can't conceptualize his sheer existence, much less the fact that I must somehow know him.
Or have at least met him somehow, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It just can't latch on. However, strangely, Bruce, you've seen people, you know people. You've seen traumas before. You've seen the kind of things that deep emotional scarring can do to someone's mind. And so you know that you've seen people essentially forget entire other people in their lives or drop decades out of their functional memory in response to something traumatic. And somehow you can grasp the idea that maybe you have missed something, that something has gone wrong with your memory, maybe a little bit easier because you've seen what happens. You've seen the worst of people. But the thing that really makes it a bitter pill to swallow, and the thing that you struggle with, is that black and white old country immigration picture also has him there. Except this time his vest is on overclothes. It doesn't have all of the riveting. It isn't tooled. It looks much more normal. And he is there smiling, which is the only picture that he's smiling. And the rest of them, he seems to at the most be smirking and usually have some kind of, glaring into the camera, staring into the camera look.
I will point the resemblance out to Spencer, of course. So, doesn't he look like that man?
Sorry, I was adjusting my headset.
That's
Doesn't he
okay.
look like who?
Yeah, we have seen the man in the vest now in one of those old-timey pictures of maybe the turn of the century.
Well, yeah, it's the same guy, right? Like he's
That would make him like what, 150, 200 years old?
Yeah, well, the stuff that you don't believe exists can allow people to live outside of their normal lifespans. So, or he could be a creature that has
If
no
that,
lifespan, or
okay,
there's
now
any
your
number.
not the mumbo jumbo shit again. Come on, just do you recognize him? Do you know who that guy is?
No, Bruce, and that's what's
No,
messing
the
with
guy
my head right now.
Not the guy in the that we're looking for, but the old guy up there. Any clue who in our family? You paid attention more to that shit, did you?
He's a great granduncle or something. Who knows? I don't know.
Ah, okay. Well, we'll figure this out later.
Oh, we'll always figure it out later, huh? We'll always figure it out later.
Well, right now there's a lot of stuff going on. We're looking for the guy in an enclosed area. Time is of the essence. We don't want him running free if he finds out we're here.
Oh, this is his place of power. He's not going anywhere.
Bruce, as you look at these pictures, what you realize is that in every picture he is with you guys, he has taken the place of someone else. An uncle or a great uncle or a cousin twice removed that came by to visit, that extended family stuff. That is what you see. What you are seeing, the illusion you are seeing through, is the lie that this person was perpetuating your entire life.
I'm ripping one of the pictures off the wall, trying to see if it maybe was manipulated or something, but this just doesn't make sense to me.
No, this is an old-fashioned, super thick, like pre-digital picture of that beautiful, heavy, almost vellum-y photo paper. You'd have to send it to the lab. I mean, this is almost a dead art. Like, you're talking Cold War stuff here. And
yeah, that was the first thing Bruce is doing, because this makes no sense. All right,
What are you looking at?
you can see him here. It looks like he almost is standing in place, or he put himself in place of one of our relatives on these images. I was trying to see if he manipulated the pictures or what.
Wait, are you saying like he photoshopped himself into our family pictures?
Well, probably more primitive in some of this stuff. I can't tell, but
Yeah, I
or
mean,
had somebody
the one
do
you're
it.
holding is like 60 years old. There's no way he could Photoshop himself into that.
No shit. Yeah. But photo manipulation was here before Photoshop, right?
I don't know. The Loch Ness monster and the Sasquatch pictures look pretty real to me, man.
And the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus. Got it.
Well, there are pictures of those, Bruce. That's beside the point.
All right. Well, he's not here. Let's get downstairs and see if he's down there. We know where he's not so far.
Yeah, he's not in the bar with the people that are eating each other and playing the same game of pool. He's not up here in the creepy murder apartment that's filled with pictures of us and our sister and the rest of our family, and he's in all of them, and somehow neither of us remember him being there. And
finding him is the only way to get the fucking answers.
So creepy basement time, right? Creepy basement time. That's great.
You got a grenade or two we could throw down there first if you feel better? Maybe one of your little Lucky Charm rocks?
Did you actually bring a grenade? That would have been super useful.
No, they don't let us have that.
Wrong department.
That would have
the
been...
IRS gets all that.
All the paperwork involved. Ugh. Bureaucracy. You're lucky I got a Glock.
Yeah, that's
but right now,
real comforting.
my goal, I'm not trying to figure all this out. Right now, I need to find him. Focus. If I try to think of this other shit, we're not gonna get. I can't. It's just something's fucked up here, and I haven't figured it out.
Good of you to be catching on.
And downstairs then.
Downstairs. Do you go anywhere aside from directly downstairs? The bar area, I mean, you've got a couple of sound barriers between you as you go down the stairs, but it's deadly quiet now. The music isn't playing. You don't hear pool balls rattling around. The wet biological noises of murder and sex aren't there.
Spencer, peek out the door and see if there's what happened over there.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm curious anyway, so I'm going to poke my head around the corner and look in the bar area.
The bar is abandoned. It is dusty. It is crusty. It is cobwebbed and dust-bunnied. There are no people here. There are footprints in the dust, but they are the footprints of you and your brother. There is no evidence that anyone was ever here.
Oh boy. Well, at least the defense mechanisms are out for the time being. That's great. Glad to see that. Super cool. Let's go down to the creepy basement. That's gonna be great.
Oh, okay. Hey, check your watch.
And I look at my watch.
It's like 10 minutes past midnight.
Good to know.
Is it the worst Cinderella ever?
Yeah. Well, nobody's had their toes chopped off to fit into a crystal slipper yet, so hey.
It's early.
Yep.
All right. The basement.
What did you see, Spencer?
Oh, everybody's gone, and nobody's been in that bar in probably a solid 15 years, possibly more, based on the level of dust that's accumulated. Except for us, our footprints are, just trodden all over the place in there. But everything else is.
Bruce is gonna go peek out the hallway, look out, just.
Yeah, it's the
everything
same.
Pitch black. What the fuck? Dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, keeping it together, he's not doing real well. He's very confused right now.
At this point, I mean, your best bet is that it's got to be drugs.
Yeah,
there had to be some kind of fast-acting, like weird, like aerosolized acid in the air or something, or it has
pollen
to
or dust or mold or milk, something.
You hope that it was some kind of like hallucinogen, because the other option is that there's a fucking nerve toxin in here. Because the number of things that could make you see that kind of shit, that's a real small list. And a bad trip is like on the good end of that list.
And it hasn't been that good so far.
Yeah.
So. All right, well, let's try to find this guy and, try not to breathe the air. There might be something in it. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, and it kind of like, as you say that, like the taste of dust fills your mouth, and it's that it comes with that old ashtray smell, that not even good cigarette smell, the rotten cigarette smell, this is the car I drive in the winter and I haven't opened it for 2 months, but I smoked in it to and from work. That funky, nasty, disgusting smell. That it's old smell.
And taste.
Yeah. It's all right. The basement. There's a lot. The basement is a minimalist space. The floor is clearly a giant slab of limestone that looks almost maybe like it has never been moved. The floor is rough, not rough, but hand hewn. It's definitely man-made, but the floor has been hand leveled, and the walls seem to be lined with this same stone. It looks like someone took too much time for a sane man and quarried some of this stone in place and used it to build this room. Which, I mean, if you're going to build a ritual space, why the fuck not, right? In the floor is a piece of, as we've described it, a piece of geometry trapped in circles. And it is full of black, red, gunky, viscous, mucosal, dried blood. This engraving is probably a solid inch deep. And there's a cabinet over here. There's a sparse bookshelf over here, and these are books that that Spencer goes, oh shit, that's the good stuff there, or the bad stuff, depending on how you want to describe it. But standing in the middle of the room is the man in the vest. And he is looking at you as you come down the stairs with a very paternal, you had better give me a good explanation or I'm going to get very mad look on his face. He is sleeveless. The only thing on his upper body is his riveted vest. He has a bit more beard. His pants are old, many times washed, many times worn jeans, and a heavy pair of leather boots. It's, if you didn't know better, if you could say, imagine someone who runs a very private roadhouse and lives above it and might be a serial killer. This guy is kind of that vibe all the way down. He's very on brand. And he is looking at you two as you come down the stairs. And does anyone want to do anything like right as they hit the steps and realize that he's there?
Bruce would pull his gun on him. Hands up, keep him where I can see him.
He doesn't. Shocking no one. What he says is, it was that picture, wasn't it? The phone picture.
Does it matter? Who are you? Put your hands where I can see him. Put them up.
You can see my hands, boy.
To answer your question, yes, it was the cell phone picture.
Thank you, Spencer.
Oh God, you know my name. That's fantastic.
Spencer, don't give him any more information than he needs. He'll use it against you.
If I wanted to use it against you, I would have.
Also, like, he already knew that it was the phone picture, so like, yeah.
You're here about your sister, aren't you?
Immediately, head snaps up. So does the gun, of course. Look, they said you killed her. The marks you wear. Obviously, you are him. Why?
Have you ever grown a garden?
No.
Have you ever planted anything? Have you ever tended the earth? Have you ever bled into the ground to bring forth fruit?
No.
If you have not, then you will not understand. The first thing that you must do to bring forth good fruit is plow. And at its heart, plowing is destruction. We have to take what exists naturally and we have to break it open and prepare it to hold something more wondrous. And I loved your sister. And that's not how I wanted that to go. But not everything you plow yields, not everything germinates.
What do you mean nothing germinates? She was a living, growing human being.
Is Earth itself not living and growing? Is the dirt not full of life? Or the grass or trees? You're mad because you gave her a name, because you perceived her as an individual. But would you stalk me so strongly for cutting down a tree that lived for 150 years, that bore fruit, that shaded your ancestors?
He was no fucking tree.
Only because you don't adequately value the tree.
We had a personal connection to her, and we don't have personal connections to trees.
That's your failing, not mine.
Okay, like I'm as much of a tree hugger as the next guy, but like this seems a little bit extreme for me.
He's just using it for an excuse to kill somebody like they all do.
No, it's not an excuse. An excuse is something you invent later. I have purpose. I've always had purpose.
You just delusioned yourself that murder is good.
We went upstairs.
And aren't you about to try the same trick?
I am preventing, hopefully, the continuation of murders.
Are you willing to bet your parents' lives on it?
I don't see them here. You're the one I'm worried about. You should be worried about your life. Raises the gun a little more. Headshot. Ready?
Okay. Spencer, you understand what I'm saying, don't you?
We went upstairs. I saw the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
My family, we're your garden, aren't we?
You're my family.
Yeah, but you're harvesting us, aren't you?
No, I'm not harvesting you. You're not my crop. You are my dreams. You are where my hopes live. With life is life, for reasons that are not any of our faults, is a finite energy. We are trapped in a place that is a closed circle. When you free life, when you furrow a field, you take that life and you allow it to go to other places. Just like a farmer, I destroy what nature has placed to bring something better. You are, you stand in the shade of your sister's death and are comforted by it.
Comfort? How the hell do you think comfort?
Do you really think, Bruce, that bullet missed you? Do you really think you walked out of that shootout untouched?
Hey, I didn't get shot.
Did you? Did you not?
What's he talking about, Bruce?
I got shot on a case not too long ago. No big deal, or at least he's
It
saying
was
I got shot.
45 caliber, boy.
No, I was not shot.
Were you not?
He's trying to remember and he does not recall. Or got hit in the
In the where?
in his vest a few times. But that just leaves bruises and you cough a lot.
Or what I let your sister do kept you alive.
Sister was not there. She's been dead for years.
You're right.
You're making no sense.
I'm making plenty of sense. Aren't I, Spencer?
So you what cold Olivia like a weed so that Bruce wouldn't die when he was shot.
Like a weed? No. No, like a precious thing. She was an offering. She was my Isaac.
Yeah, but he didn't kill Isaac because God told him not to.
The real gods are a little bit more dedicated to follow through.
There are no gods. This is just bullshit every religion sparks.
Spencer, I can show you.
I don't need
I can teach you.
Spencer, don't listen to him. Come on, he killed our sister and you're sitting here listening to him?
Would your sister have died to save Bruce? Would she throw herself in front of a bullet for your brother?
You know she would have, Bruce.
Just because you don't like the way she did something she would have doesn't mean it's wrong.
Was it her choice?
But
Was
she
it
didn't
her
stop a bullet.
choice?
No, it wasn't her choice. But we both know it's what she would have picked.
Just because we know that's what she would have picked, she deserved a choice.
Bruce is obviously confused by your conversations. He's just...
Spencer, I can show you. I can show you how... I can show you how to break open someone you love and grow something that will protect your family for 100 years.
And all I have to do is what? Sacrifice Bruce? Is that what you're getting at? Invalidate Olivia's sacrifice so that I can learn to do this? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Because no, fuck you.
Are you willing to kill your cousins? When you kill me and you walk out of here and you think you've recovered and you think that everything is better and you think you've gotten your revenge and my body is cooling on the ground and you fall in love and you get married and you have a kid and they find a tumor in that kid's brain, you're going to wish I taught you. And when your brother looks you in the eye at your child's funeral and says, I would give anything to switch places with him, you will have to know that you could have known how.
can't.
Yes, you can.
What am I supposed to do then?
Do whatever you think is right. I won't stop you.
Bruce, I need to know how to save the rest of our family. I need to know how I can protect us.
Sure the hell isn't by killing people, especially people who kill other people. This bastard. I'm just going to start shooting. At this
Okay.
point, I'm done listening to him. He's been
That's
trying to get my
legit.
brother.
That's
brothers-
legit. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah,
I was
I'm
wondering when
just
you were going to
reading
start.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was letting you finish your scene. So
Okay. So, what I'm going to say is Spencer going to do anything to interrupt that gunfire? And you've known your brother, your brothers, you know his emotional responses, you know all of his kinesthetic tells. You know, you guys have probably played a lot of poker or Go Fish or Magic or who the hell knows what. And so his mental resolution to enact violence isn't a surprise to you. Are you going to let him or stop him?
I think at this point, Spencer, I am in extreme distress. So yeah, I'm probably gonna shoulder check him to try to knock his aim off.
Okay. How do you guys want to resolve that?
I
What
mean, my
kinda-
violence is
what kinda
negative
dice-
too, so
You just want to do violence versus violence, just a straight roll and see who does better?
I would
Him?
not be focusing on him for my violence initial. I'd be shooting at him.
Yeah,
so
and
it'd
I'm-
be catching me by surprise. I would expect him
I'm-
to leave me alone.
and I am just trying to knock his aim off. So I'm not trying to do anything. I guess actually what it would be then
Maybe
help or
Bruce
hinder
just-
roll for me, and I'm trying to hinder his violence roll.
Yeah, I like that. How about you roll the help or hinder, and then we see what
Off the top of
happens.
my head, I cannot remember what I roll for that.
It's plus attribute, where the attribute is the same as the other player is rolling.
Okay,
So yeah, you're using your body.
violence.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
using your body to alter the environment without the environment's consent. So
You would use a relationship, I thought, on that roll.
use whatever you want.
Like
Well, my -2 violence roll was a 10.
A 10 total.
Yeah.
Okay, you may modify the subsequent roll by plus or minus 1. So, Tim, roll that beautiful bean footage.
that would be a total of 14.
So, do you want to add or subtract from that?
I will subtract, but it's not going to do anything
It-
because it's still a middling.
Yeah, it affects the narrative, though. Yeah, you inflict damage, but at a cost. The GM chooses one. Okay. So what's the harm on that weapon that you're using?
I will be using overkill. So that
Ooh,
would
cool.
be a total of 3. It would be an attempted double tap to the chest, 1 to the head. Triple. Uses
Okay.
3 rounds.
And so what is that? What, 3 harm?
Yes.
That's no small number. Let me see when I'm... Okay. It should have been center of mass, center of skull plate. You have imagined this moment for thousands of rounds at the firing ranges. This is the thing that all of your investigation has led to. And so even with your brother throwing a fucking shoulder check into your shot, you manage to do a damn good double tap. It's not quite, the chest head. There's a term for that, and I forget what it is. Like the 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. It's not quite that. It's just kind of like it's 2 shots, kind of like in the rib cage area, and his vest, when you hit it, it kind of like, it doesn't pop, but it sort of peels as if it's skin or as if it's under pressure. And what you see is that it looks like the vest is somehow attached to his body. And there's something going on the inside of the vest, some tooling or something there. There's something horrible that you don't know if your brain will survive investigating that intently. But he staggers back and is hurt very badly. That shot would have killed a normal human without a doubt. Maybe not instantly, but without a hospital trip, it would have killed him. But this old necromancer, maybe somewhere between necromancer and there's something.
Not a word Bruce would choose, but yeah.
Yeah. It's this psychopath. I mean, Bruce just has psychopath, easy, crazy person, serial killer. To Spencer, somewhere between a necromancer and something unpleasantly close to maybe something druidic in this mindset. He is hurt. He could die. But your hip check has disrupted your brother and knocked him into the shelf of what you recognize as magical working tools. So there's some dishes and some plates and a couple of knives and some little containers of oil and some of those classic tools of magic working. This guy seems to be very kind of old school, classical, like Crowley, Hermetic, John Dee vibe. And your check knocked your brother into it, and so he has a few seconds of dealing with the things that are falling down around his head after he took his shots. And so the result of that is that Spencer has a chance to act. You can take a fairly clean shot at your brother. There might even be a knife nearby, or you could finish this killer.
Bruce is going to be swearing at Spencer, just, what the fuck are you doing, man? And he's trying to get back in a firing position. Get out of the way.
So what I do, because I mentioned at the beginning that I am carrying my own knife, much less the one that would have clattered onto the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Is I kind of place myself in between the two of them, and I've got my knife held in my right hand, which is closer to Bruce, and I'm holding both arms out on either side of me. Stop. Just stop, okay? I know that he needs to be put down, Bruce, but he needs to be able to teach me because I need to be able to protect us, okay?
You would kill somebody of the family to protect them.
No, but if I learn what he can teach me, I can use it. I can change it. I can make it so I don't have to kill anyone. I can protect us.
Making this shit up for an excuse. We've gone over this. Magic isn't real.
Damn it.
Whatever
Bruce,
is, he's pumping drugs or something, and he's got you fucked up.
This whole place.
Go out and get some fresh air. Let me take care of this.
You don't get it, and you're gonna fuck it up, and we're all gonna you're gonna kill us. You're gonna kill us all.
You can hear the wet, rasping, tubercular rattle of a man who now has a rather unstandard hole through his lung. One of his lungs is collapsed and probably filling up with blood. His life is on the line. You have to figure this out now.
Bruce, you gotta let me fix him.
No, you got 5 seconds if he answers your question. Otherwise, I'm killing him. Well, he's exaggerating the 5-second thing, but
Bruce, you can't kill
he
kill him.
Your sister. He's killed our fucking sister, and you're gonna let him walk away?
I've gotta learn how he did it.
Read the fucking books, and I start firing at him again. See if trying to move myself in a position I can fire around Spencer, I should say, and then fire at him.
And I will take a slash at his gun arm.
Okay. For the sake of expedience, as it's 9:30, do you want to just roll comparative violence and see who ends up at the top of this pile?
Sure.
Or do you want to do like
-2 and him with his +2? Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
I think I have a +1, I believe.
Oh, okay. Well, I still have a -2, and I rolled precisely a 9.
And I rolled a 13.
That
Okay.
Triomancer did.
I gun fu him on the forehead and knock him a little out of the way and get a clear shot.
Okay.
Little pistol whip my brother there.
Yeah. Okay. The killer dies. The old man hunter is dead. Another pair of heavy caliber bullets tearing through his body and ending his very long life, and off camera dragging him down to the inferno where all of those sad little purgatides that he let out as a defense mechanism have a chance to chew on him now, and that will not be a grand old time. But you hit your generally frail, confused, maybe sick in the head brother with your service weapon. And as you turn your focus to him, let's see how hard you hurt him here as we kind of come to the end of this little one-shot story. So, Chris, how about you roll to endure injury? Either a 20 or a 2. 20 or a 2. Where are we at?
Actually, actively, yes, a 2.
Oh, no!
Yup. That is a 2. That is a 1 plus a 1.
Plus nothing.
Can't roll 1.
And it is a +0 on my endure injury.
Yeah, it's plus fortitude minus harm, so it's probably maybe even a -1, depending on your fortitude. Okay. I think,
out.
Yeah. I've got something sounds really good to kind of like bring this memorial thing to an end, because it's a terrible ending and I love it.
Yeah.
Bruce, you give your brother what should have been at most a mild concussion. You know, you're expecting a couple of the little butterflies to put the scalp back together, and maybe a migraine, and maybe not talking for a while, but you had done the mental math. And so you give him a stroke to get him out of the way, and you take your time and you put one right through the chest area and then one through old man Hunter's cheek, and it empties his skull with terrible efficiency, and you can see the brains and the blood and the cerebrospinal fluid leaking out. And as you turn to look at your brother, you see the terrible fact that the knife that he was holding is now right here, stuck in his neck. And you can see the fear in his eyes. And you know that you're in a basement, in a bad place, and very far away from a hospital. And your brother has a knife in his neck.
I'm assuming he's bleeding out also in the process of this.
It looks terrifying. It looks terminal, maybe. And at this last moment, as the camera goes dark, you realize that you just shot the only person that might know how to save your brother in the head. And if you could trade places with him, you probably would. How was that?
There, I like
Rip.
it.
Rip Spencer.
Rip Spencer, yeah.
Death is only the beginning, my friend. My brother will be back to haunt me as a true necromancer now.
Yeah. So are you guys okay? Did you have fun?
Yeah. No,
I
that was
enjoyed it.
fantastic.
Good.
I just wish there was more. Like,
Yeah.
we could go do another.
Yeah, it's, that was at about like 9 o'clock. I was like, we could do a 19 episode memorial thing for Mechanoreceptor, right? Curtis wouldn't drive to my house and choke the life out of me personally for suggesting it, right? Of course, that'll be fine. Yeah.
Voice of God.
Yeah. God came down and said, don't do that, boy.
The demiurge.
Yeah. So,
I enjoyed myself immensely, guys. Thank you so much for inviting me on this.
Yes, and Hunter's Ice House was designed by Mechanoreceptor. That was a place that he created, and a majority of the idea of the story came from the story beats that he suggested or other people suggested in that, and that is part of the memorial pack that's available at the website. And so if you had fun, if you want to see Hunter's Ice House for yourself, if you want to take a look at some of the legacy that Mechanoreceptor left behind, we encourage you to do so. And also, if you could please donate, because that's why we're here. We're asking people to help with his family. And so if you have some spare money, we ask you that you do please donate at the provided links. I could say it a bunch of times because I'm a dad and I'm a husband, and leaving my family behind terrifies the hell out of me, and I know that it would be really hard. So if you have something, give something. And death is only the beginning. And so I think that's it. Guys, do you have anything to say? Either about the game or the reason that we're here?
Well, thank you, Ben, for DMing for us. This was an absolute blast.
Good.
I always appreciate getting to play a game with Tim.
Yes, we need more.
And, of course, thanks to Curtis for being the man behind the scenes.
Yeah. So
the director.
Yes.
I mean.
He does. He makes us all look good. He makes us all look so organized. Like our pants are on the right way and everything. It's fantastic.
You guys are wearing pants?
Hey, I've got something on.
I wish I would have dressed for the occasion.
Yeah. But I think that's it for us tonight. Yep. We thank you very much. We thank you, Helmgast. We thank you, Mechanoreceptor. I've been hearing a lot about him and the energy that he brought to the community, and he seemed like a very cool dude. And I'd like to be able to talk to him. I'm sure that the people that know him miss him as well. So we thank him for his contributions. Thank Helmgast. If you want to go check out the game, go to cultdivinitylost.com and subscribe to this channel, because there's if you like tonight, there's a bunch more of it coming. So thank you very much and have a good night.
Good night, sweet dreams, and we love you.